of, let's say, top 5, top 4, and multiple top 2 finishes, you know, with basically even records against players like Zane, the currently #1 ranked player, but has yet to clinch out one of these majors. So I think for Jmook, winning something like this, granted, Mango's not here, HBox is not here. There's a couple of the top players that are definitely not present at this event, but I think getting that confidence boost from taking the whole event home would be huge.
Yeah, I think it builds up momentum going into the next few tournaments that we have coming up in the next few weeks as well, right? Getting that W in there. Speaking of W, someone who's just recently got their W, aMSa off the fresh W.
Dude, I don't know.
That segue was better, right? That segue was better.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
That was amazing. I thought you were going to say, speaking of W's, someone whose name starts with W.
Also works, also works.
It does also work.
But
yeah.
not quite as good.
Well, listen. So, yeah, aMSa Wizzy is interesting because just 2 weeks ago, right? I mean, Lost Tech City was literally 2 weekends ago. And aMSa came in with a lot of preparation. Wizzy, on the flip side, has not entered too many events this year, has been mostly inactive, and aMSa actually brought home the second win that aMSa's ever had against Wizzy, ever.
At Lost Tech City. Yeah.
At Lost Tech City, exactly. But, you know, historically, this has always looked really good for Wizzy. And, I mean, Wizzy's looking really good this weekend, and it makes sense because Wizzy's started going to events again, is, you know, more in practice than I have to imagine Wizzy was 2 weekends ago. So, I don't know. I think this is the kind of, this is the true test for aMSa. Okay, you won the major, but now people are going to be ready for you. People are going to be labbing for you, and especially someone like Wizzy, who we know to be somebody who really tries to solve matchups to a T.
And I think Falcon as a character is also pretty well fitted to beat Yoshi in a lot of senses. I think, you know, you have the double jump armor to contend with, but Falcon has like really hard hitting moves, has really strong combos if you get the right open up. So I think some of the strengths of Yoshi is of the survivability, you know, living to a high percent, the double jump armor. Falcon can kind of mitigate that if you get the right open ups in neutral, right?
Yes.
So I think in some senses Falcon is solid against Yoshi, and I think even in the past aMSa has had some difficulties versus Falcon. Not as much in recent history, but I think if I'm looking at the set actually between aMSa and None recently that happened, that was pretty solid for None in terms of the Falcon versus Yoshi matchup, right? So I think Wizzy could give aMSa a lot of trouble.
Definitely.
Going into this set here. And I think the Falcons here in general could give a lot of trouble for aMSa.
This is what I think about this particular set. I think this is really interesting because both of these players, to me, fit the Batman archetype. And what I mean by that is not, you know, Batman like Joey's Falcon. I mean the whole... You
preparation.
Know, they always say Batman beats anyone with prep. Right.
Preparation.
I think both of these players are that kind of player. They come in with prep, and both of them had all night last night to basically know their opponent for tomorrow, their opponent for today, in Winner's Top 8 is going to be each other. So aMSa, super duper. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. aMSa solves players, right? Like he brings new tools to the table. I think that's exactly what aMSa did to Wizzy, you know, 2 weekends ago at Lost Tech City. And that's exactly why aMSa was able to kind of triumph over Wizzy there. And on the flip side, I think Wizzy is also going to be the sort of player that studies the tapes, says, hey, what did I do wrong? What do I need to do differently? So I'm really coming into this set very curious about who did the better prep.
You know what's interesting actually about that, speaking of prep? Not this Genesis, but the previous Genesis prior to the pandemic. aMSa had a little bit of like a Falcon problem, as I mentioned before, right? And I actually had to play aMSa in bracket. He wiped the floor with me. After the set, aMSa wiped the floor with me, right?
Wow.
After the set, he comes up to me and he says, I'm good versus Falcon now.
I'm good versus Falcon now.
Yeah. And this was 2 Genesis ago.
Oh, wow.
So you have to imagine that the prep is even stronger.
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's something to be said about, like, you know...
I think the confidence is what really was like, oh, okay, you're just that guy now.
Well, it's the matchup. It's the matchup for sure, but it's also the player, right? I think Wizzy a very peculiar Captain Falcon.
That's right, very specific Captain Falcon.
A very specific play style. And so I think for aMSa, if you're preparing for Wizzrobe in particular, listen, I would not be surprised if both of these two put together, you know, they poured over the Lost Tech City footage probably for hours and hours and hours last night, right? You have to imagine that both of these players studied the tapes.
Absolutely.
And I think it was 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. It was pretty solid in aMSa's favor. But yeah, I don't know. I think you're not going to get the same Wizzy 2 times in a row.
And also, I got to say that, you know, Wizzy has been coming off of a little bit of a hiatus, not entering too many tournaments this year. Getting first at Smash Factor was huge. Getting first at Smash Factor was huge. And then also we saw the performance yesterday in the Falcon crew battle, which went really well for Wizzy.
Do you have any insight, you know, because you said you played aMSa in this matchup, do you have any insight into what aMSa kind of does that, for example, gave you trouble in the matchup?
I mean, it's really positions where it feels like you can punish aMSa in the air. You don't take those punishes because Yoshi has the double jump armor. So there's times where it feels like you're about to win neutral against Yoshi. Don't fall for it.
Yes.
Do something else. You know, if you can get a grab, that's great because you kind of mitigate the double jump armor by just grabbing, you know. You maybe watch out for those, go for stomps, go for like the harder hitting moves. But in general, you know, there's going to be positions where it feels like, okay, I'm going to be able to hit aMSa out of the air. Don't do it. That's what aMSa wants. I
feel the same way, you know, another, like as a Fox player, I feel the exact same way. And it's the kind of, it's very similar to fighting characters that go for crouch cancel on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know, we used to joke and call it a aerial crouch cancel, but that really is how it feels.
That's
where
exactly how it is.
You think you have an opening, you think, okay, it's my time to go in, it's time to maybe nair them or something, but that is exactly what aMSa's looking out for. He's going to tank it with the double jump and then counterattack. So,
and the worst part about the counterattack is that it usually leads to a huge string from aMSa because Falcon's weight is so comboable, right? You get like a double jump nair, maybe a knockdown, and then the tech chase comes out. aMSa's tech chasing has been really solid coming out of Big House in terms of grabs. Kind of tech chasing like Wizzy a little bit in some situations with Yoshi's grab.
With Yoshi, which again is 3 frames slower than, you know, traditional grabs. Traditional grabs being 7 frames, and the Yoshi running grab, dash grab, being 10 frames. And the interesting thing there is that also means that Yoshi actually has to give up the tech in place, right? Like for tech in place, you can't actually grab it. You need to like down smash it, for example.
See there? Don't hit. You get a reversal into up air.
That's right.
And then, you know,
that's right.
Could be all curtains for you.
Yoshi, a true tank in that sense. Very okay getting hit. I would wager, I would seriously bet a lot of money that like, if you took any top player in Super Smash Bros. Melee, and you said, okay, that was crazy.
Wait, that was up B into down B, by the way.
That's right. That's right. Up B into down B. I would wager that aMSa, on average, survives to the highest percent across, you know, all of his stocks that he plays in tournament. It's just kind of an archetype of, or an artifact of being Yoshi. But also the fact that aMSa is just really cognizant of all the ways that he has to defend. But that's going to be the first stop. Was he getting that done without taking too much more percent?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think Falcon also is uniquely built to be able to mitigate some of these advantages. Like, see, I think going for grab there is really solid. Then you can get a couple of regrabs off the tech chase potentially. I think, you know, at the higher percents, you can do the back air that Wizzrobe was doing, and I think that's relatively safe. You space it well. So Falcon definitely has the tools. It's just like it's a completely specific and different matchup compared to everything else, right?
Absolutely.
Where Falcon loves to like hit people out of the air with up air in particular, here you kind of have to go against that. You have to go against the nature of Falcon of like hitting people in the air in some senses. You got to really pick your positions, I think.
Right, and I think there's something to be said about like the discipline aspect, but I think that's why Wizzy's always been so good at this matchup, is that Wizzy has always been extremely disciplined as a player, but that is a 0% stop.
Yeah, and I think that's also the scary part about going off stage versus characters as Falcon, right? Like, the potential to just get KO'd at low percents is really there for Falcon, which is something you also have to keep.
Yeah, that turnaround really hurts. That turnaround really hurts. There's something more I want to say about the game plan for aMSa coming into this matchup, but I'll wait till after game 1 and just kind of say my spiel between games, because I did talk to him and his coach back when he was working with Kaito a while back about what they thought about this particular matchup, and I thought what they said to me was very interesting. So aMSa right now, yeah, anything roughly that gets Wizzy off stage is basically going to lead to an edge guard that aMSa's probably going to be able to just seal out.
And also, aMSa just mashed out of that at like 30? That's crazy. That was awful.
Yeah, that is. that's a monster mash.
Yeah. So even off the grab openings that you get, you still can't get too much of a conversion. Okay, this is...
Yeah, especially because no jump, so up air is going to close it out. And hang on. Wizzy, all of a sudden...
And doesn't get hit by the egg. Nice.
Yep.
Oh. I like the spacing here, knowing the angles that aMSa can come off of these platforms, but the shield is tiny. The shield is tiny.
Yeah, the shield is tiny because speaking of angles, I mean, aMSa just dancing around Wizzy's shield from all kinds of different angles. Nair is probably going to close it out. That's tough to DI because you never know which way that's going to send you when they're right on top of you. Game 1, going to aMSa, but one stock off the back of a kind of awkward SD from Wizzy. You know, I'm not feeling like this is anyone's game, right? This is completely wide open.
Yeah, you can't tell who's going to win this set just based off that game. Absolutely. I also think the choice of going for egg while below Wizzy in that last stock situation was really nice from aMSa, right? Because I think it's a little bit slower. Potentially you could punish it, but I think it sets up really well because it covers so much space above Yoshi and really lended itself to aMSa getting that stock there, that last stock.
So something we haven't seen in the top 8 so far, which we could, is the Mute City counterpick.
You know, I think everyone is on their try-hard. They saw the prize pool flashed to everyone in the venue. Well, They're like, oh, wait a minute.
But let me. I see that, and I raise you that I think if you're really try-harding, I think for some of these matchups, Mute City might be the play. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a scary counterpick because
it's true.
There's no way that you've practiced on Mute City going into this tournament.
Yeah, granted.
Not to that level, right? I think you're right that Mute City definitely has its place in the counterpick war. Right. I don't know, man. It's tough to say.
It is tough to say, but we'll see. I foresee that someone will bring it out. Ooh. Someone will bring it out. aMSa, though, staying ahead. And by the way, 3 stocks to 2, I mean...
So the thing I wanted to point out when aMSa was on the platform in that previous stock, oh, look at that double jump armor, is that Wizzrobe actually threatened up B. And I think that's a really good thing to threaten versus Yoshi as Yoshi's on the platform because, you know, Yoshi can't jump out of shield.
Yoshi cannot jump out of shield.
So typically Yoshi's just kind of stay on the platform in egg, and when you have that air grab that Falcon has, it has definitely its uses in this matchup. Because then you saw the rolling in the subsequent stock from aMSa. Nice side B there. So you got to threaten all these kind of things versus Yoshi, I think.
You got to right. Yeah, I mean,
introduce the option.
Introduce. I like that phrasing for sure. Because if you try to kind of tackle Yoshi conventionally. Oh, that was great. Good reaction from Wizzy. But the trade isn't enough. aMSa actually makes it back with the air dodge. I thought Yoshi was probably dead because no double jump, but air dodge is enough distance.
Just barely enough. And even they're just barely not getting the KO off that back air. Great DI from aMSa.
Up air. Yeah, the survival factor from honestly both these players. aMSa does fail to down beat to the ledge right there. I think so it is going to be 2 stocks apiece.
I think that was also off the back of Wizzy actually punishing that down B on the left side, right? So aMSa felt like, oh, I'm going to be a little bit further away from the ledge so I don't get hit out of it. And then that time, unfortunately, being too far away from the ledge.
Yeah.
Okay, keeping center stage here from Wizzy.
Oh, wow, what a counterattack. Dash dancing into the double jump cancel neutral air.
Not getting the knee.
Nuts.
Oh, not getting the stop there as well. The defensive play from aMSa.
Really good.
That's a terrible position to be. That's fixed knockback off that down tilt. So it sent the same amount of distance every time, regardless of percent, right? So that's a perfect option to threaten there to start the edge guard here. That's so much percent off of just one little miss from Wizzy.
Honestly, not even start the... Up B to down B, bitch. There's your combo.
Again.
The funny thing was, you know, aMSa, I was like, oh, aMSa dropped the edge guard, but aMSa just turned it into a combo. Like, hey, you don't have a double jump? I don't need to KO you right now. I don't need to take your stop. I'll just combo you to 115.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a jump. Yeah, and then when you're at 115 and I'm up a full stock, you're kind of donezo no matter what.
There's really not much.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, because you're going to be DIing for survival because it's your last stock, and that's perfect for comboing.
Yeah.
From aMSa's end there versus Wizzrobe. So.
Jeez Louise.
That was just off the back of one kind of missed up B, and then aMSa started off with down tilt, and oh boy, that was like a full stock.
I gotta say, I did not foresee a 2-0 lead for aMSa. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I mean, I think, yeah. What do you prioritize here if you're Wizzy, if you're Falcon?
You go Mute City and have a good time.
And that's exactly what we're getting, Fish.
That's the play.
We're having a great time right now, but I mean, I don't know, man. Okay.
I think this is actually like an okay counterpick because
absolutely.
Because we saw how strong aMSa is off the ledge, right? Mute City has no ledges, so you can't do that kind of up B, that double jump stuff to grab the ledge really quickly that Yoshi does, right? So,
I think you're right.
You know what? aMSa's going to show us some stuff on Mute City, and we're going to be like, wait a minute, you could do that on Yoshi's?
Let me hit you with a little bit of lore here, right? So here's the thing. Wizzy for sure has played, well, Wizzy's more new school overall, but I know for a fact aMSa in Japan never played on this stage in tournament because in the era that the rest of the world had Mute City legal, and that actually just, I cannot believe Yoshi died there. Japan was playing on the FD only rule set.
It was only FD.
Exactly.
It wasn't even like you had Pokemon Stadium, Battlefield, none of that. It was literally only FD.
That was when I lived in Japan. And so when Japan introduced the rest of the neutral stages, Yoshi's, Battlefield, FOD, and Stadium, they skipped the part where stages like this were legal. So aMSa has never really played on this stage in tournament. Now that being said, he's been adapting very, very well. And we can kind of tell from his, his gamer face. He's not taking this as a joke. He's playing to win.
Absolutely not. And look at the shield pressure. That's a really smart jump back knee there, but I mean,
and
again, no ledges. So Falcon usually has like the drift back off up B, and then grab ledge is the mix-up in terms of Falcon's recovery.
Right.
But on stages like this, you just have to go to stage,
and you have to take another hit. Yeah, and especially the second half of this level. So the kind of the circuit, because this platform takes a couple stops. The second half of the stage is the part where it's really tough, in my opinion, for Falcon, because that's where you really, for an extended period of time, don't even have the ground beneath you.
Yeah, you don't have the cars that pop you up, like not here, but like one more phase after, like 2 more phases after this.
Exactly. Yeah,
when it's like completely in the air.
Yeah. This part's fine. I think this part is actually very good for Falcon.
Yeah, I think that all these parts are fine.
Right. You got the wall.
And you have the space as well, for a lot. And then these pop-ups are really great because they kind of act like a stomp.
Right.
So you can get like knee, you can get like an up air knee potentially. So it's
and you know what the funny thing is with the stage? I think for Yoshi, oh my goodness, just wave dash back forward smash. I think for Yoshi, you don't really mind the. Oh my God, aMSa's winning this tournament. I'm sorry. I saw aMSa do a similar motion last weekend at Big House on Pokemon Stadium Lip. That was wild. That was crazy.
The combo with the stage. Oh baby.
The combo with the stage.
I'm telling you, it looks like Stomp.
It really does.
It really is. It
really does.
2-player combo.
Light shield to slide off. Okay.
Oh, this is big.
I don't know about that. Yeah, aMSa fast falling, really hoping that the road would pop him back up. But the camera pulled up just in time to make sure that aMSa just fell to his doom instead. Wizzrobe. And maybe Captain Falcon really is faster on Mute City.
Ooh. Oh, boy. That was actually a pretty solid counterpick, all things considered.
It worked. I mean, it was risky, but it worked out. And aMSa said, you want to go to your lore counterpick? Falcon on Mute City? Well, let me take you to my story.
That's right.
Let's see how that goes.
That's right.
And I mean, it's not just lore, right? In terms of breathing room, Falcon wants the room to run around and maneuver, and you're not going to get that here.
No, it's a solid counterpick here, especially with how strong aMSa is off these platforms and how close they are together. It feels like aMSa can just like traverse the entire stage with ease
and in
a flash, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, tries to push off there and then get an aerial after Falcon has been pushed off that top platform. Doesn't quite get it, but the idea there is good.
Absolutely.
See, oh man, just re-grabbing ledge there versus Falcon. So quick. That double jump to ledge. So fast. See that nair pressure on shield? Down tilt when you see the shield is dwindled so that you can get the shield poke.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
and
so good.
The nice thing about down tilt is because it's, I'm pretty sure it's fixed knockback.
Yeah, yeah, I think down tilt is fixed knockback.
Yeah. You always basically put them in this awkward spot where it's really just difficult to recover because you go far enough away that you have to up B, but you're not far enough away that you can up B and get a mix-up.
By the way, that was really good defensive play from Wizzrobe there. Getting out of that jab reset that aMSa did at a pretty low percent, a relatively low percent. That was nice.
And the stage actually kind of not working out in some ways for aMSa because aMSa's been losing these stocks to back airs at lower percents than I would say, sometimes aMSa's able to live to in other stages.
Yeah, the survivability from Yoshi was definitely a factor in a lot of these other games, right? Because it felt like aMSa was living to high hundreds.
Yeah, that's right. High heavens. aMSa with a bit of a combo right now.
Shy Guy's getting in the way.
Ooh, the wall jump recovery, wall jump air dodge from Wizzy. And that is something that uniquely, right, Falcon's going to be able to take advantage of. Yoshi can't wall jump.
That's right. Oh, no.
Oh, no edge, edge egg.
To grab the edge with the up B there, or the ledge rather.
Up smash KO, yes it does.
Yeah, but this is a kind of a tricky comeback to mount because Wizzy has been very solid off of each opening that he's gotten. So, gotta watch out here, especially because Wizzy's been smart about going for grabs, especially at the lower percents, right? Because again, kind of mitigates the double jump armor. Just go right into grab. Here we go.
Nairing aMSa out of that jump.
And with the wrong DI, you can actually get regrab sometimes, as we just saw there.
There's an element of this, too, that I think we're seeing, where aMSa is frequently nairing Wizzy in such a way, and that knee is just going to do it.
Again, that's the thing you're talking about with Yoshi's. That would not KO on a lot of stages.
A lot of stages, no. We saw the same thing against Axe, Vish, where Wizzy was getting these, bears and moves that just wouldn't really put you anywhere close to dying on most stages. But on Yoshi's, it just kills you because the stage is that small. And I think the other side of it that I'm noticing is that aMSa, a lot of the time when he likes to go for the nairs in his combos, Wizzy is able to just slide off to the ledge because on Yoshi's, you're always basically kind of near the ledge. So if you can slide off, you just go back to the ledge and you're like, cool, reset.
And also Wizzy is really strong in terms of being able to do like hack dashes and things like that. So once Wizzy is on the ledge,
he's comfy.
He's very comfortable there, right?
That is super true.
Doesn't feel like you've got him in a defensive position.
Bro, all of a sudden it's 2-2. I cannot believe that off the back of the Mute City counter.
That's right, the Mute City counter pick coming in clutch. Who would have thought? Shoutouts to all the donors.
That's right, that's right.
The donors really making it work for Wizzrobe right now. Okay. Tries to get the roll read there with that knee. And again, once you build up the percent, I'm telling you, Falcon is kind of uniquely built because the back air is a really solid tool when Yoshi's at the higher percents. Especially when you fade back like that. The trades are not that great for Yoshi.
Right. So, yeah, aMSa needs to find ways to just close these stock out and get edge guards exactly like that.
Yeah. That was an interesting down smash. It felt like Wizzy wanted to like slide off and grab the edge and kind of, for some reason, didn't have that happen. So the down smash just kind of caught him off guard and then set up for that edge guard.
That's right. Well, Wizzy using the short up knee near the side platform too, knowing that the short up knee covers the side platform when the opponent's on top of it.
Breaks the double jump armor there with that back air.
Man, Wizzy has really found new life in this set. And by the way, one more hit, it feels like is going to do it. That knee is definitely not survivable for Yoshi, and aMSa on the back foot now, down 2 stocks to 3.
Toph, would this be a 3-0 comeback if Wizzy
this
were to
would
mount?
absolutely be a reverse
I gotta make sure. Not tripping here. Okay, goes for the nair there. Not gonna get an open up. I like to see not going for up air into like grab, right? I think a lot of other Falcons might just want to push the advantage when you get with the up air.
Yes.
Wizzy does these Wizzy stomps, the patented Wizzy stomps, that kind of fade back a little bit. So it's a really nice option amidst the pressure that Wizzy's been putting out. Super good. Oh. Good DI there off that nair. Eggs. Oh, that's a good amount of percent actually for just being on the ledge there and being able to get back on a stage. That jump back knee is so scary.
Yes, and aMSa not Wizzy not taking that knockdown. Whoa!
aMSa's so smart, by the way, for going for that egg. So smart. aMSa knew he couldn't get to the top platform in time.
Right.
So threw out the egg instead.
Just to kind of cover the get-up options.
That's right.
And looking for the down on the top platform. And all of a sudden, oh my goodness, Wizzy could take a lot of damage off of this.
Smart to get the tech as well, but aMSa still gets the grab.
Yes, 61% already on Wizzy, which means a lot of moves will send off stage. The pressure right now, Wizzy on the edge. Gets the up air. Is that enough? Not quite.
Yeah, not quite. Can you catch Yoshi on the landing? Great air dodge there from aMSa.
Oh my goodness.
Insane air dodge. And now the shield's low enough to where Egg is also going to be shield poking.
Oh, aMSa trying to end it right there with the ground and down B. And the pressure, Wizzy having to roll out. What happens here? The Egg not covering the ledge. They trade. Wow, yeah, okay. aMSa getting KO'd off the top at 120 on Wizzy right now.
Wizzy needs a grab.
That would be nice. I don't even know if grab does that much. It's 0, Vish, and that is just it.
Oh my god.
Wow. aMSa with the second victory after 2 weekends against Wizzy, one of his historical bracket demons, again here in Texas. But I mean, Wizzy post Big House feels like he's got a